Hello everyone, my name is Matthew and I just wanted to jump on here and share my story with everyone as to how I was diagnosed with Lyme and co-infection. So let's get started. About several years ago, I'm 24 years old now, going on 25. I When I was 8 years old, I found a tick on me while I was taking a shower. About the age of 21, I then started noticing very strange symptoms, such as fatigue, pretty much feeling like I had the flu 24/7, 7 days a week. This seemed never to get better. I'm not 100% sure that the tick that I found on me at the age of 8 was the result of being infected with Lyme, but it may have been. I do know in my younger years I did suffer a lot from anxiety and panic, having panic attacks and always being sleepy, just tired, so hard for me to get up in the morning. So I don't know if that was due to that. I can't pinpoint the time if it was before or after, if it started before or after I found the tick. So one other thing that I do remember, that I do know, well, that did happen before I started having symptoms, is I got bit by a spider on my right knee, and this spider bite got so infected. I went to the hospital and they cut a T into my leg, pushed the pus out. I would say, I mean, this is a lot of information, TMI, but they pushed out so much pus that he could have probably filled about 2 shot glasses of pus. And then the doctor packed my spider bite with about a foot of ribbon with dipped in antibiotics, and the hole from the spider bite opened up about that much. I still have the scar from it now, but I do hear that spiders can transmit Lyme and co-infections as well, and as well as several other insects. So I'm not sure if, again, I'm not sure if it was from the tick or the spider bite, whatever. So from the age of 21, I was having symptoms. I was getting, I don't have any now, but I was getting small bald spots that were getting as big as probably quarters just at random places of my hair. And I thought maybe, it was from stress. Also, I was experiencing perspirating, or my feet were sweating. They were perspirating so bad that I felt so much pressure on the bottom of my feet, and it was so uncomfortable. I know now maybe my body was trying to detox and was pushing all these toxins out of the bottom, out of my feet. But it was a very uneasy feeling, just feeling like so much pressure on the bottom of my feet. Tired all the time, just tired, not wanting to get up. I would sleep. I worked a Monday through Friday job, and I would sleep from Friday through Sunday morning, and Sunday night, and usually would, be exhausted still by Monday. It was never enough sleep. So by that time, I reached, 23, 24 years old. I then began the journey of trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And doctor visits, appointments, medications, for everything from them telling me I have the flu, I have and sinuses, that types of illnesses, and sending me home with prescriptions and telling me, hey, you go home, take these pills, everything's going to be fine. And nothing ever got better, still stayed the same. So this went on for years, and around the age of 31 I was just done. Like, I'm like, you know what, whatever I'm sick from, I don't know what it is. I thought maybe I had cancer, maybe something. I don't know what I was sick with, and I was just to the point where I was giving up. Like, I was just like, I'm just gonna have to deal with this and live with this for the rest of my life, and if it kills me, it kills me, because I don't know what's wrong with me. So um, I would say around the age of, oh, also what I forgot to mention, around the time of the symptoms getting really bad the first time around, my early 20s, was stomach issues, very bad heartburn, um, loose stool just right after I ate, immediately having to go to the restroom, and then came thinking maybe I have irritable bowel syndrome, things like that. I could not figure out what was wrong with me. So I would say the last 2018 into early 2019 was the worst. My symptoms got so bad that it was starting to really affect my life more so than it was before. Just fatigue, very bad fatigue, worse than it's ever been. Headaches, pains up in my eye where it felt like somebody was just stabbing me up in my eye into my brain. Um, Numbness in my fingers. I can only be typing for so long on my fingers, it will go completely numb. Um, Loss of feeling in my feet, my legs were hurting so bad. My muscles started twitching, and sorry guys, I'm trying to hold this camera up and I'm laying down at the same time. I'm just relaxing. Where was I? Okay, so twitching in my muscles and feeling like something was literally crawling through my muscles. It was the worst, disgusting feeling. You could feel it, think that something is causing like a worm-like feeling to just travel through your muscles. It's just disgusting. So at that point, I still didn't want to go see a doctor, because I'm like, what are they gonna do for me? They're gonna give me the runaround. They're gonna send me home and give me a prescription for something that's not even wrong with me, and tell me to get some rest and I'll be fine. So at the point of me pretty much giving up all hope again, and thinking like, okay, this whatever's wrong with me is progressing and I'm gonna die. I have a very good friend who was diagnosed with some food allergies, and his doctor, he claimed that she was amazing, and he was like, hey, go see her. She will not stop until she figures out what is going on with you, or what's causing these symptoms. So I'm like, okay, let me... Oh, at first I was skeptical. I was like, I'm not gonna go to any more doctors. I'm not gonna do it. So thinking about it for about a week and just getting more and more sick, I told myself, okay, you know what, I need to go to a doctor, and I'm going to take his advice and go to this doctor and see if she's able to help me. So I made an appointment, went to the doctor in Lake Worth, Texas, the Wellness Center, and made an appointment with Dr. Casey. So as soon as I got to the back room and met with the doctor, I then realized that this doctor was a lot different from other doctors that I've seen. She was asking me very detailed questions, really trying to get into the issue and the symptoms, and dissecting it, and really thinking of what could be wrong. And her first initial thought was maybe I had lupus or another type of autoimmune disease. So she was asking me, if I have any other family members that have any illnesses, and I do know that my mom has a lot of health problems. So I'm like, my mom's very sick. She has rheumatoid arthritis. She has this. She has that. Blah, blah, the list can go on and on. So the doctor was like, okay, let's get a full lab, on your full labs on your blood and whatnot, and let's see what's going on. Like, hopefully we can find out. So, from there, I go to the lab and get my blood work drawn, and about a week later, I go back for my follow-up appointment. So she says, hey Matt, everything came back normal. The only thing that concerns me is that your vitamin D levels are the lowest I've ever seen them, are lowest I've ever seen in a male since I've been practicing. And I'm like, okay, well, what do we got to do to fix it? So she gives me some high potency vitamin D to take home, and I'm supposed to take these, I guess, once a week. And yeah, so in the mix of her telling me about the vitamin D, she stops and says, hey, have you ever been tested for Lyme disease? And I'm like, no, what is that? She, told me, hey, a lot of the symptoms that you have are, symptoms of Lyme disease, and it's probably far-fetched, and I don't think you have Lyme, but it would make sense. So let's go ahead and test you for that as well today. So she sends me back to the lab, and I go do some more blood work, and start taking my vitamins that she gave me, and about a week later I get a call from the clinic and the wellness center in Lake Worth, and I'm told, hey Matt, you've tested positive for Lyme disease. And at that point, between her telling me that this is what you may have, this is something we want to look into, to the time that I actually got the results, I did research online and found out what Lyme was. And a lot of research that I was doing was saying, hey, take doxycycline for 30 days and you'll be fine. So she tells me over the phone that I need to go see an infectious disease doctor at the Center of Disease Control in Euless, Texas, so for treatment. So okay, let's go and get this doxycycline, and I'll be fine, whatever. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I've had this issue for so long, and I've been sick for so long, so how can it be a 30-day cycle of antibiotics to get rid of this? It just didn't make sense to me, but whatever. I was trying not to be negative. Let's get to the other doctor at the Center of Disease Control, and let's get this medication, and hopefully it'll help. So I go to the Center of Disease Control. I meet with the infectious doctor. Right as soon as I get into the back room with this doctor, she then starts trying to convince me that I do not have Lyme. Oh, you don't have Lyme. You had an infection before because your blood work shows that, but you don't have Lyme anymore. Let's go ahead and get you tested for co-infections. Maybe there's some other things going on from the Lyme that you had, and maybe there's just some stuff lingering on. It's just messing with you. So I'm like, okay, well, at this point I'm confused. Like, I have blood work that says I have an infection, but yet this infectious disease doctor is telling me that I don't have any Lyme. So I'm telling her, why am I still this sick if I don't have it? Like, you couldn't explain it to me. So sends me down the hall to the lab to get tested for HIV, co-infections, other things that she figured it may be. So I'm like, okay. So I go get the test done, and about a week later from that, I get a call from the doctor at the Center of Disease Control, and she says, you've tested positive for Rickettsia and Bartonella, which are one of the few co-infections, some of the few co-infections that come along with Lyme. So I'm just like, what do I need to do? oh, so that at that point she tells me that I need to take a round of doxycycline, 30-day treatment, and I will be fine after that. So um, I then, you know, go to the pharmacy and start taking them, pick up the medication, start taking it. Within the month span, I did not feel any relief. I felt just about the same, if not worse. Um, I I started to think maybe this wasn't gonna work, and then I started doing more research and seeing that people have been on antibiotics, specifically doxycycline and other antibiotics to treat Lyme and co-infections for years, and I'm like, what the heck, that I research and find out about chronic Lyme. I found out a lot of this stuff on my own by doing research that no doctor was ever going to tell me, that no clinic was ever going to tell me anything like that. So with that being said, I was just not feeling good, and I was just over it with the antibiotics, and thinking this definitely has to be chronic because I've been sick for so long. So right after I stopped taking the doxycycline, I finished the whole 30 days round, the whole 30 days of the doxycycline. But right after the 30 days of me taking doxycycline, it was a Friday. I stopped taking it Thursday, early January. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting to let y'all know the whole time frame of this. But this from going to the doctor that was recommended to me until going to the infectious disease doctor was in about early December, and ended about late January when I finally figured out that I had the co-infections and all that, and taking the doxycycline. So mid-December, January, I stopped taking the doxycycline, completely finished it. So on a Thursday. On Friday, I work in Carrollton, Texas. Mind you, with all this going on, I'm working a full-time job, and yeah, full-time job. And that was rough. So driving home Friday, I had something just snapped mentally in my brain. Something was completely off at the snap of a finger. It happened so quickly. I didn't see it coming. I know driving home I did feel fatigue, but I got home, or driving my commute home, halfway to my house, I lost my mind. That's the only way I can explain it. My mind completely went away. Had I not been on a street I was very familiar with, because I take that road home and to and from work every pretty much every day, Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday. So I believe if I was somewhere where I wasn't too familiar with, I would have been completely lost. I was so disconnected. I couldn't feel anything. I was having a panic attack. I felt like I was dying. I called my friend and told him, hey, if I don't make it back to my place today, I'm probably dead. And a normal person would have called 911, but at this point I'm thinking, what are they going to do for me? Take me to the hospital? Tell me I'm crazy? Probably send me to the psych ward? And I wasn't going to do that. So I'm like, yeah, I'm probably going to die here in my car. So I pull over, roll my windows down, and tell myself, calm down, it's gonna be okay, this is just an anxiety attack. But it just felt like so much more than an anxiety attack. So anyways, I managed to drive myself home. Getting home, I walked through the door like a zombie. I was like, okay, let me take a shower. And I was so disconnected. I was so dizzy, so off balance. I didn't have an appetite. I felt so depressed and sad and hurt. Like, it was the worst feeling ever. Death is what it felt like. Death. If there's ever been a time where I've been close to death, it was that day. And the weeks to come. You know, thinking, I've been, having these symptoms for so long. I'm thinking, okay, if one symptom goes away, another one comes, that goes away, another one comes, or they all come together, but eventually they all kind of subside and go away, and I have a few days of relief. So I'm thinking, this is just going to be, 24, 48 hours, I'm going to be fine. And day one went by. The rest of the day, Friday went by, Saturday went by, Sunday was going by. So I'm like, I need to go to a doctor and see if there's something that's wrong with me. And well, I knew something was wrong with me, but if they can give me some type of relief and any type of medicine or anything like that. So I go to the doctor, and I tell them my situation, and they're pretty much like, hey, there's nothing we can do for you. And I forgot about a symptom that I was having. It was that sharp pain up in my eyes, and my eyes just feeling really dry. And from that, he's like, okay, it's allergies. You have allergies, which allergies here in my area are really bad. But I've never been diagnosed with allergies before. Never had allergies like that in the past. So okay, let's go with that. Let's take the prescription. Let's go to the pharmacy, spend $350, whatever. I just want to feel better. Nasal sprays, syrups, eye drops. The eye drops were $160 alone with insurance. So start taking that, no relief. And weeks went by of me feeling this way, of going to work, feeling like I was outside of my body, watching myself coast through life. Get home, lay down, knock out, wake up, and just doing this over and over again. And at that point, I was, very frustrated and just kind of feeling like I wanted to give up. So I told myself, hey, I'm gonna take this into my own hands. Did some more research on natural remedies and diet, exercise, things like that, herbs, oils and things like that I can take that are natural, that are gonna help me get better, because I didn't know what else to do. And one thing I did find out is being someone who is infected with chronic Lyme and co-infections, that my body has a hard time detoxing, and holds on to metals and different things and that are in the environment and in the food we intake every day. So I came to the conclusion that, hey, I'm going to change my lifestyle, and I'm going to tackle this and see if I can find any relief myself, and just go about this with the advice of some people that I follow now on YouTube who are raw vegans and taking herbs and natural supplements to help them get better. And I started that whole process in the early weeks of November, and I'm still doing that to now. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do the calculation. I'm sorry. Started that in February. The whole vegetarian raw or vegan raw diet, and it is now mid-May, and I'm starting to already see some improvement. And I'm laying down right now, but I've actually been out. Got my hair cut, went out and did some shopping, and that's something that I have not done on a weekend in a long time. It takes a lot to get me up to go see my family, things like that. But I do it, but I'm pushing myself this weekend. And the last weekend I felt like I've had energy to actually get up and do these things. I'm not 100%. I would say I'm about from 60 to 65% feeling better, and I have a long journey ahead of me, and I know that. And I'm not saying that, oh, I'm healed or I'm gonna be healed, but I'm gonna try this route because nothing else seems to work. And I'm gonna upload more videos of what exactly I'm eating, what supplements I'm taking, herbs, and some. Hopefully, I can learn some good recipes to share, and kind of let everyone um, see my progress, or if I'm doing worse, whatever this road takes me on. I want to share that, and if there's any way I can help someone, or you know, give advice to someone, or have someone give some advice to me of what they've done and what helped, comment below, share, discuss, talk about these issues. One thing I found out about is that this is not talked about enough. This is not, Lyme disease and co-infections are not talked about openly in the medical community, and there's no real programs, or insurance doesn't cover treatment for these types of illnesses. It's not something that is easily diagnosed because of the testing that we have nowadays. It does not, as far advanced as we are supposed to be, we don't have the proper test to, or the normal doctor that you would go see don't have the proper test to diagnose you, or to figure out, that you have Lyme or co-infection. So again, I'm gonna hopefully upload a video each week to show my progress, or if I'm doing worse, what I'm doing, things like that. So I hope that you like this video and subscribe, and hopefully we can go on this journey together. I know there's a lot of people out there suffering who cannot get diagnosed and are going from doctor to doctor the same way I was, and hopefully you find a doctor that can at least get you diagnosed, and then you can take it into your own hands from there on what you want to do. I'm not knocking anyone who's taking antibiotics, or not knocking anyone who's doing any other treatments. There's a ton of treatments out there, I found out, but this is just the way I'm taking on, taking on my healing process is, fully raw vegan, along with some natural supplements and things like that. So I hope everyone has a very awesome Sunday and a week to come, and I want to thank everyone for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope that we all can discuss and talk about health in general. And I hope that someone can watch this video and notice some of these symptoms, and bring this up to their doctor, and hopefully find some answers. So with that, I'm going to leave everybody now and say goodbye. Have a good day, have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.